right eventually, but this is a preliminary sketch. And legs. Some people find legs really difficult to draw. I don't see how I'm just literally showing off a duck's foot. It's shaped the way it looks. You can't really see it in the picture, but I'm just sort of going off of personal knowledge, and then we're just adding another foot in the background, so it looks all 3D. This deck's gonna end up being really, really cartoony, just so you guys know. And of course, then you're gonna make another layer, lower the opacity of your sketch, turn your correction, or I guess they're called stabilizer in Photoshop, all the way up, and now it's time for the fun part. Tiny, tiny little details. As you can see, just work with your eraser and your liner and just go for it. It's not the fun part of the drawing. You can always manipulate things with your select tool and transform. And I did that for part of the beak, but honestly, now you just sort of gotta go for long strokes. And what you can always do, which I find super helpful, is you don't need to finish a stroke exactly where it's supposed to be. You can do what I just did there, where you add another line coming in at a different angle, and it connects with the first one you drew, so it looks far more smooth. But you can just erase the big line that's sort of overlapping and looks bad, and then bada bing, bada boom, you have yourself a line. Now, this is bad. I'm gonna fix that in a moment. The tail, at least. But time for the feet. Again, I thought this would be the most frustrating part of the drawing. It just really wasn't, except for this little part of the foot. Though I ended up fixing it, and it looks a lot better. And the tail, I just think that currently looks bad. So watch as I fix it. Part of drawing is just looking at it and being like, that's not right. How do I make it better? And just spending for friggin' ever just making it look better. It's not easy. It's sometimes super frustrating. And then for pigtail feather, it took me forever to get it to look good. I still don't think it looks perfect, but it looks a lot better than it did when I started. And sometimes that's all you can go for. And always you can make if you're doing digital art, you can make anything just super tiny, like an eraser, which I'm doing right now. If you need super fine details, just remember to zoom out and make sure it doesn't look terrible, because it sometimes does. It looks really good up close, and then you zoom out and you're like, oh god, oh no. But then here's where I'm gonna diverge a bit from my sketch, which is something that you do in digital drawing, and I would not recommend for pen and ink. Okay, so now we have our line art done, and we're gonna add the best part, color. I just put in like a bluish background, because again, this is gonna be a super boring little drawing. And if you're gonna use the dropper tool, which I love, or I guess bucket tool, to sort of fill in a large area, make sure that all of the shapes that you're doing are enclosed shapes. And now it's shading time. It's a super cartoony duck. You don't need to like go crazy. fact, I would have looked closer at the picture. And now, this part actually was, it took a while, because I'm just shading in the entirety of the white body to give it the illusion of actually being a 3D object. And so, adding different layers of gray and sort of making sure that the lines mimic the actual duck's body. This is just sort of gotta look at the picture. And I'm not gonna be doing any blending on this because that's the thing I've been doing in a lot of my other stuff. I like my weird, overly blended out stuff. But here we're just really going for that cartoony, flat, just color swaths. And now we gotta go and clean everything up, which is the fun part. Said no one ever. And then I'm gonna need to add some more shading on the neck and tail. And again, you're just, it's 3D, but it's not 3D. It's clearly a super cartoon, but also it's 3D. It's the illusion that you get in all of your like Disney things. I'm not trying to trick your eye. I'm just giving the perception of at least some sort of shape, because that looks better than, you know, a flat white duck. And now, I'm adding this on the Lineart layer, I'm not sure if you can see that, and I actually added another layer of ground, because I want a complete drawing. Look at that. That is beautifully basic.